All right, y'all. What's going on? What's going on, y'all? If you don't know, now you do know. You're officially tuned in to a special edition of the HFWB podcast series. On this episode of the HFWB podcast series, I got two special guests who I owe a whole lot to as far as helping my HFWB brand grow with what they have going on with basically PhD productions and everything, which I'm, of course, a part of. I want to introduce Mr. Mike Rodriguez, and I want to introduce Mr. LAZRIK'S. Thank y'all for coming on to the HFWB podcast, man.
Let's go. How's it going, Chris? Doing all right, man?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. Just ripping and running, just planning a whole bunch of stuff. You know how that goes, man.
I hear you. I hear you.
Yeah. But I want to ask y'all basically, first off, of course, how did y'all meet each other? And basically, what's y'all's upbringing?
Go ahead, Mike.
That's yours last.
Mike, jump in real quick. Hector's messages me. I'm trying
got you, man.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Laz and I, we both come out of the oil field. Laz used to be a crane operator on the locations that I used to work at. And so I would have to build these frac stacks. And Laz was the guy that was hanging on to them by a little thin cable, you know. So
Yeah.
I learned a lot of respect. I earned a lot of respect for that man. You know, we learned to communicate without voice. Everything was hand signals and head nods. And he's carrying 15,000 pounds. And he loses that load, I'm gonna get killed or at the least lose a limb, you know. So you know, we make a pretty solid team, you know, especially out here. So yeah, that's where we know each other from. And he's actually the one that brought me into solar, and through that he actually grew me into realizing that I can live my dream, you know, which is speaking and motivation. So it's because of him that I'm here right now doing this. Because if not, I'd be out on location, you know, killing myself for pennies. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hear you, man. I hear you. And it's funny how you mentioned solar, because I want to ask basically you and Laz this. What made y'all want to go the solar route, and what made y'all want to spread all the information and the knowledge as far as getting everybody situated basically with solar, because this is a new wave that's pretty much going on right now and people need to get more in tune. So just tell us a little bit about that.
So, man, that is a really, really good question. The way I got started in crazy backstory, right? So I bought my house in 2015. It was a brand new neighborhood, and it was a few of us that just, you know, moved into the area. There's a couple of houses down to my right. He went solar. This was like 2016. This is before solar really got super big, right?
Yeah.
So I reached out to him because I was interested. I didn't know much about it, but I was like, man, I want to learn more. So I asked him about it, and he was like, man, he told me all the stuff he had to do. This was before it was super simple for homeowners to go solar. Like, he had to do all the paperwork, which was a lot of stuff.
I can imagine.
So when he told me about that, I was like, nah, I don't want to do it. Because then he had to put like $20,000 down to go solar too. I was like, yeah, I don't want to do it, right? So, you know, we all get these phone calls from these random people talking about solar. So I actually got a cold call. Let's say it was like 2018 or 2019 from some pro. Pitching in the solar. So I was like, yeah, they came by, they gave the presentation. The guy who gave the presentation sucked. And but I was like, dude, sign me up, man. So he signed me up. I didn't qualify for the full system, which was a partial loan. So I didn't want to do it. So talking to my brother about solar, he goes solar, you know, last year with DECA, was Zenith at the time. And the guy who sold him solar, he my brother told him about me that I wanted to go solar. So he came over to my house. I was like, dude, just let's see if I qualify for it. Did it again. I didn't qualify for the full system. But what caught my interest was this guy was telling my brother every time my brother refers him a customer that goes solar, this guy was like, I'm gonna give you $1,000 every single time out of his pocket. So I'm like, okay, if this guy's giving away $1,000 every time he refers somebody who goes solar, I need to learn about what type of money he's making, because we don't know what we don't know, right?
Right on.
So that's how I got involved in it. I went to a meeting with what they was doing. I saw the type of money they was making, and solar was one of those things where I realized I have an opportunity to get in front of the curve before it gets even bigger than what it is. Because I missed out on a lot of opportunities where I was like, man, I should have jumped on that. Man, I should have jumped on that. But right now, solar, this is it. I walked away from the crane and rigging business where I was making easily 6 figures to do this, because not only because we can make great money in it, but we could impact a lot of lives. We could save people a lot of money, the next 25 years just by going green energy, and not only saving people money, but saving our planet. That is the biggest thing right now. And we're impacting lives in so many different ways, from the planet to the homeowners to the people we're bringing onto our team. We're barely scratching the surface, man.
and we gonna continue to scratch the surface for sure, man. It's funny because, and go ahead, Mike. Go ahead and.
No, that was just laughing, man.
No, I was just gonna say, because it's funny how y'all are so involved with solar and everything, because my dad, he actually just recently just got solar panels installed on his roof and stuff, because after the whole deep freeze that happened earlier in the year, he basically told himself, man, I'm never going to be in a position to where I'm going to not be without electricity again. And he got the whole house set up with panels and everything. And what's funny was a neighbor was actually the one who influenced him to do it. And at first, my dad wasn't going to do it, but then it's funny how he finally did it, because now if we ever deal with another deep freeze, we don't got to worry about that anymore.
What all did he get? Did he get batteries and stuff, or just solar?
No, he got strictly just solar installed and everything. He got the whole setup. It's real nice. It's real nice for sure. But yeah, Mike, and the same question goes for you. How did you get so involved in the solar, man?
That's Laz's fault. I always blame Laz.
That's his fault.
I had just gotten laid off, man. So I'd gotten married in October 2021 or 2020. Sorry, yeah. October 2020, we got married. In November, I got laid off. And so I had to come back to my brand new wife that I ain't got a job. And thing is, I didn't tell her. I just came home and I just started hustling. I know how to build furniture. I know how to work on houses. I know how to build fences. I just started going back on my trades, everything I learned. And we were talking about saving money. And so she had mentioned something about solar. And I was like, it's crazy you say that, because one of my buddies, Laz, that I used to work with in the oil field, is selling solar. So let me reach out to him, see what he can do for us, and see if he can design something. And so Laz comes over, we sit down, he shows me a system, and then we kind of get off. Well, I drag him off topic. He's real good about staying on topic. And I'm real good about distracting people. So I distracted him. I caught him off guard and told him about everything that was going on. Yeah. And then he just decided, man, he's like, you know what? I really want you to come and see if solar would be a good fit for you as far as consulting and selling it, So I figured, well, I'm not doing anything anyway. It's 100% commission-based income. And then, so if I don't close deals and I don't help people, that I don't get paid. But then again, I'm already not getting paid. So I might as well just spend my time. So I went with them. I went with them. I think we caught up like on a Friday, and I met him on Monday at the office, and I just jumped in, and I saw a whole different culture, a whole different way that I could help people, and I've always been real big on coaching and on leadership, and I saw this really as a route to get to where I really want to be. So that's how I got tied in. It's Laz's fault. Long story short.
And it's funny how you mentioned that, Mike, as far as it being Laz's fault, because ironically enough, it helped y'all build not only with just solar in general, it helped y'all out with coming together with PhD Productions and bringing myself and bringing Dave involved. And we're going to just continue to grow this more and more, which leads me to my next question. When was the moment when you knew PhD Productions was going to be, okay, this is going to be a group. Now we're going to do this, we're going to do that? Because I personally want to know this, and I'm sure everybody who's listening to the HFWB podcast series right now wants to know this as well. And that's for a question for you, for Laz and Mike.
Yeah, Laz goes first.
Dude, it happened so fast.
Right.
Like literally happened so fast. It was literally like a overnight type thing. And I don't really mean like overnight type thing, because we drove to Nashville, Tennessee for this event. And that was a long drive, man. I cannot stress how long the drive that was. That was a long drive. And I did not do not 1 hour of that drive. Mike drove the whole way there and the whole way back.
Yeah, Mike, you crazy.
I salute that guy for doing that. But man, that's where the magic started happening, man. Like great ideas, man, come from like driving. And we brainstorm on so much, man, because our coach, Coach Michael Burt, was saying, he gave us a lot of nuggets on being a person of interest, have to get in front of more people, and all these things that our coach was telling us. We was putting all this stuff together and figure out what can we put together that we're good at, and that's gonna naturally flow together. And we brainstorm a lot of ideas, a lot of different names. Some name was kind of stupid. It was like, when we say it out loud, it was like, nope, scratch that off. And then
like it worked in my head.
Yeah. And so we had the concept of what we wanted to do. We just didn't come up with the name yet by the time we got back from Tennessee. And then one day I just hit him up. I said, dude, PhD Productions. Mm-hmm. And I told him, I said, powering higher devotions. PhD is the highest degree you could get. So what we want to do is take people to the highest level that we can. So powering higher devotions, that's what we need to run with. So we already had the layout of what we wanted to do. We just had to get that name to fit with it. And I guess you would say it was 32 hours worth of work, and it all came together.
It's beautiful to hear, man. And like I said, I'm just honored to be a part of it. I know Dave can say the same. Obviously Mike could say the same. And it's like, hey, we're only just getting started and everything. And it's funny how you mentioned, Laz, that there's a whole layout of things coming, which brings me to basically the next obvious question, and one of the main reasons why I brought you on the podcast, which is talk about this Truth About Solar event. I want to hear, how did this come about? How all the stuff that was behind the scenes of putting this together. We gotta let the people know, man, what's coming with this. That's for both of you.
Go for it, Mike.
All right. So the Truth About Solar, man, it came around, initially with solar, we started out like everybody else with solar, door knocking, and you can only hit so many neighborhoods, man. You can only get so many people interested in solar. And then And then you realize that you're knocking in a neighborhood that's already been saturated by everybody else trying to sell them the same system,
Yeah.
and trying to sell them the same dream and the same belief and same everything.
Yep.
And we were beginning to realize something. Something that was pretty consistent was the customers weren't being completely informed. They
Yeah.
weren't being told the honest, they weren't being told the truth. These solar reps weren't being transparent. They weren't being forthcoming. They weren't telling you all the cons that come along with the pros. So we saw an opportunity to pivot. And when we did that, we turned this into education. And so now when we go knock doors, we're not trying to sell you a system. We're trying to educate you. We
That's-
want you to be informed. We want you to make a smart decision. Even if you don't go solar, we're going to leave your house knowing that you are armed to the teeth with information. You know what to ask. You know what to look for. You know the red flags. You know how to protect yourself.
Yep.
Because as it sits right now in the city, in our city, we don't have anything in place that protects homeowners from dishonest sales reps. And as you know, we're not selling cookies. I'm not asking you for $15. I'm not even asking you for $15,000. I'm asking you for an enormous amount of money. And when I do that, I need to be able to sleep at night knowing that the system I designed for you is going to do everything I told you it would do. And if it doesn't, that's on me. I'm the one that's lying. So it's going to have a lot of that. And that's why we decided to have this Truth About Solar. We're also tying in some realtors. We're tying in some homeowners. So what it's going to boil down to is it's going to be a big melting pot of information where there's going to be something for everybody there. If you're trying to sell your house, if you're trying to get your house listed on the market, as a homeowner, we'll give you the information you need to know. As a realtor, we'll give you the information that you need to know to ask the homeowners. It's basically, we're connecting a lot of dots in this web of information, so that way everybody is put up front with current information, with accurate information, and with transparent and honest information.
Yep, because there's a lot of people out there lying of homeowners, man. Like for example, the two situations that I had with Sun Pro came, going back and replaying that whole conversation with what I know now and how that conversation went with that guy. Not once did he look at my energy consumption. Not once. He asked me what my monthly price was. He matched that. And, thank God that I didn't go solar with him, because I would have been screwed. Because if somebody don't look at your energy consumption, there's no way they could design that system right. So with the second guy, and again, I'm not going to say his name because he lives in Corpus, but he works for, it used to be Zenith, now, and then it was Tedeka, and now they're called Lumino. But thank God that I didn't pull the trigger with him, because same thing, all he looked at was how much I was paying on my electricity. And that is the absolutely worst way to design a system for a homeowner. And a lot of homeowners, when they get these people that knock at the door, they're thinking like, oh, I'm gonna get a deal by telling them that my average bill is $150. Like, no, you're absolutely wrong. You're screwing yourself over by doing that. And this event is to educate people on what they need to know on how, if they want to go solar, this is what you need to know. This is the information you need to give to the guy that's at your door for solar. This is the information you need to look out for when this guy is designing your system, so that you can know if your system is producing more than what your house is consuming. Right. So that's the bottom line on that, with just educating our people, man. We don't know what we don't know. And I'm tired of hearing realtors telling homeowners not to go solar because that realtor is not educated about solar. You know, I'm tired of, you know, people who don't have solar telling their friends not to go solar because they don't know about solar. So many people are doing an injustice to our environment, to people finances, because they don't know what they don't know. And this event is going to educate people. You know, I'm actually need to go buy this house off of Ocean Drive, who they just bought a house on Ocean Drive,
Ocean
decked out with solar.
Yeah.
Decked out with solar. So if this house on Ocean Drive, a big ass house on Ocean Drive, somebody put it on the market and somebody bought it with solar, why are we telling people not to go solar, man? You know
Right
what I'm
on.
saying? It's
Stop
crazy.
the misinformation. We got to educate them. We got to just let them know the truth and just not give them half of it and bits and pieces of it, because it's like, what's the purpose of that? You know, you gotta educate the people and do the right thing and let them know, hey, solar is the way to go. Hey, going green is the way to go. Because it's like what both of y'all are saying. It's just about helping the person out, and at the same time, we're protecting the environment. So you can't go wrong with that. So basically, you know, oh, go ahead.
And you can't go wrong if you want to make more money on it too, man.
Exactly.
You know, anybody can make money on what we're doing if they want to team up with Mike and I, and we can show you. We can show if you're a realtor, you're a home builder, you're an AC guy, if you do, you know, windows, like if you deal with a homeowner, man, you are sleeping on this opportunity to take advantage of the fastest growing industry right now.
Yeah.
Yep. And basically, it's just like, you know, like they've been saying, if y'all want to get in tune with this solar event, y'all got to go check out this Truth About Solar event. I actually have it pulled up here right now on Facebook. So it's basically the Truth About Solar event. It's at the Alamo Draft House, Saturday, January 22nd, 2022, from like 6 to 8. You can get your tickets at eventbrite.com by searching this event, The Truth About Solar. Go check out what LAZRIK and what Mike have going on, because trust me, they're breaking grounds and we're just kicking things off strong with PhD Productions for 2022. So I'm going to go ahead and just wrap it up by hitting you with 3 questions that basically I'm going to pretty much ask anybody who gets on this show, and kind of welcome y'all a little bit into my world, as far as what is the first thing you do, and what is the first thing you think of the moment you wake up, and what is your routine that gets you going? And that's for both of you.
Who do you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first because my answer will be a short one, because it's real easy. I know you got a ritual, Laz. And so, but real quick, before anything else, you were mentioning, you know, how to get to Eventbrite and all that kind of stuff. If anybody's watching this podcast, all you got to do is scan the QR codes that are next to Laz's head or my head, and in there you'll see a link to get to the tickets, and you'll also get
those tickets, man.
You'll also get a ton of resources off that QR code. Exactly. You know, so there's a lot of information in those QR codes. But going back to the ritual, like I said, I've got a good relationship with God, but every morning I wake up and I'm like, we're gonna do this again, huh, God? Another day, let's get it, you know. And so that's my approach, and I like to think that He appreciates my humor, because He keeps blessing me with more and faster ways to think, you know. And I get up with that thought: thank God, you know, thank you for giving me another day, thank you for giving me another opportunity, and I just push off of that. I build my day off of that, you know. So
that's what's up, man. That's what's up. Got to start it off that way. How about you, Laz? What's the first thing you do or think of whenever you wake up, and what's your personal morning routine?
My personal routine is, and it's not perfect. I don't believe in the word perfect. I hate that word perfect. But when I do my hardest to get up at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, and I got reminders. So, you know, my 4:10 a.m. it says
an exclusive right here, man. Y'all for
mapping.
Watching it.
It says my time to map out my day or either trade, right? So whenever I get up, I map out my day. I do some meditating and then some praying. And then I just educate myself to help keep my team growing. Every single day at 7:55, I have another reminder. I don't know if you can see that.
I can see
It says, what is the main objective to accomplish today? And so whenever that goes off, because again, we're human, we kind of forget things. And I set reminders on everything just so I could remember what I need to do. So when that happens, I sit back and I think about what is the main thing I need to get done today. You know, what are the main objectives for me to accomplish today? Because it gets me back on track. Because if I'm not on track, then I just lock back in to get on track. But, you know, I'm trying to think who says it. I forgot his name, but he says, you got to keep the main thing, the main thing. And
Yeah.
it sounds so simple, but a lot of us, we get so distracted, you know, with so many things. And I'm guilty. At the end of the night, I just want to relax and get on TikTok. And then before you know it, it's freaking 12 o'clock at night, right? So,
oh man. I'm guilty.
Like right now, look, my alarm's going off right now. It's telling me to get ready for bed, you know?
Right on.
Because again, I get distracted with time and I ain't even shower at 8 yet. So, you know, for me is setting reminders on what needs to be done, keeping the main thing.
Right on.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Now, my next question to kind of welcome y'all into the world of health, fitness, wealth, business. It's real simple. What is health and wealth in your own eyes? And that's a question for both of y'all.
Well, for me, and I used to think it was all about how much money you make. Wealth is really on trying to think the best way to say it, because it's not about how much you make, it's about how much you have after, you know, after all your expenses is paid for.
Exactamundo.
But to be honest, on the health, I haven't really been, it ain't I'll be honest, it ain't been my main focus. I actually just started working out today. Like literally,
I'm gonna being honest about it. We get lazy and we gotta take breaks. You know, our body needs it, man.
No, I took like a 2-year break though. So
I was going on a little bit of a slump. I mean, hey, I appreciate you for being honest. That's what the HFWB podcast is about. We're being honest here, y'all. So trust.
And to be completely honest, man, like I said, I don't like the word perfect. So, you know, it's a lot of trial and error. You know, they don't teach us a lot of stuff that we should know. So, you know, from my mistake, you know, I got into an opportunity before I got into this where I was making 6 figures in the crane and rigging business. And again, the more money we make, we want to go buy more stuff. So even though I was making 6 figures, you know, in the crane and rigging business, I was no better than somebody who's working, you know, at fast food, making, you know, $500 a week or a month, because at the end of all of my expenses, it was like I was still living check to check. You know what I mean? So I had to change that, man. I had to get out of that. And, you know, that's another reason why I jumped into the solar field, the solar business, because there's no cap on what you can make. I know in the crane and rigging business, I worked 1 year, the full year, man. And I knew it was like, I worked the full year and this is a max I can make. It's like, I can't give any more to make more. So, yeah, well, wealth is important.
I hear you. I hear you. What you got to say about that, Mike?
Well, I don't want to sound cliche and say that I align with Laz on that, but I do. As far as health, I'm still kind of taking my working out break. It's been an extended break. I think it's been a few years since I've even worked out. Yeah, but I'm really good at putting on weight. So I mean, there's progress. There's progress there. As far as wealth is concerned, I have to say I agree 100% with Laz, man. It does have to do with your pocketbook at the end of the day. Bills don't care what kind of money you got. The bills are going to keep on coming. But I base my wealth around also the family I have and the quality of time that I'm able to spend with my family, and the quality of time I'm able to spend with my friends and with my team and with the people that are trying to grow, the people that I'm trying to grow and the people that want to grow with us,
Yeah.
And so it's a quality of life, and the wealth behind that is really how I sum that up. It's just the quality of life I'm able to lead, able to have.
That's great stuff. That's great stuff, y'all. But I'm going to wrap this up with just this one final question here before we, of course, get on out of here. Now, this is for you, Laz, and of course, you, Mike. What would you tell yourself 10 years ago, and where do you see yourself in 10 years?
What I would told myself 10 years ago. Wow. Man, you got me, Cliff.
10 years ago, 10 years ago, easy, man. If I could go back to me 10 years ago, I'd tell me I'm doing it wrong. That's what I'll tell me.
I'm right there with you, Mike. I would have told myself, man, what the hell are you doing? You need to, how much money you're missing out on, how much opportunity.
Right.
So it's like,
I do it now, even with my kids. Because if you want to know how to do something the wrong way, I'm your man. If you want to know how to screw something up, I'm the guy you come to. If you want to know how to not do it, I'm your man. I can definitely help you ruin literally anything you want in your life, because I've done everything wrong. If there is a right way, the only way I got there was trial and error, and doing it the hard way. I don't think I ever learned anything easily. It was always school of hard knocks. So definitely 10 years, I would tell me what I tell my kids now is, I'm coming to you from the future. I'm trying to save you pain. I'm trying to save you money. I'm trying to save you time. Don't do it this way. There's a better way. And that's what I would do. That's what I would tell me.
And that's something that people need to take exactly what you said, Mike, and put it on repeat in their heads for sure.
Right on.
Change the direction and everything. But yeah, man, I mean, other than that, man, let people know, man, where they can find out more about you and all that. You're just let them know where they can get in touch with you and everything.
Mike, you didn't tell them about where you going, 10 years from now.
Oh yeah. Huh? Oh yeah, where do you see yourself in 10 years from now? My bad.
Me or Laz?
Both of y'all, really.
Well, me, 10 years from now, I see myself here, helping people, growing, building my network, just doing it a little easier, doing it more efficiently, doing it quicker. There's all kinds of lessons. Every single day I'm learning a new lesson about networking and helping and team building and helping people get rid of their insecurities, and that's a big deal for me. So in 10 years, I see myself doing the same thing I'm doing now, just at a bigger scale.
Got it. How about you, Laz? Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
Well, 10 years back, I would tell myself to make the time for people.
That's a good answer.
10 years from now, I see myself really being able to impact the world, being able to show people, many people, how to make 6 figures of income. And I can't show somebody now how to make a 7-figure income, but 10 years from now, I'm gonna be able to show people how to make a 7-figure income.
That's good stuff. That's good stuff. So yeah, man, tell the people where they can find y'all at, where they can get in touch with y'all.
Right there. Scan that QR code.
Yep. And for those who are listening right now on Apple, Amazon, Spotify, and Google Podcasts, basically Laz and Mike are holding up QR codes based on the OVOU cards, which I myself have. Thank you very much, Laz, for the influence on that. And for those who are watching right now on YouTube, man, just scan that QR code and check it out and just stay in touch with them, man. And come check us out and join us at the Truth About Solar event, January 22nd. You don't want to miss out on this, I promise. But other than that, man, this has been another episode of the HFWB podcast series. I want to thank LAZRIK'S Pettis and Mike Rodriguez from PhD Productions, Solar Consults, everything for joining me today. Y'all stay healthy, y'all stay wealthy, y'all stay blessed, and y'all have yourselves a good time. Till next time, y'all.
Thanks, Cliff. Appreciate it, man.
It was a blast.
No, appreciate y'all, man. Till next time.